You know how people always say if you want to lose weight, you just need to eat less and move more? I used to roll my eyes every single time I heard that because deep down I knew it was more than just food or exercise. It was about how I felt, and for a long time I just did not feel good. Not about my body, not about myself, not about where I was in life. And I wasn't overeating because I was hungry. I was overeating because I was empty. I was trying to fill a void with snacks, scrolling, and trying to stay busy. And to be honest, I didn't even realize how disconnected I was with myself until one day I saw a photo that didn't even look like me anymore. My face looked puffy, my body looked tired, and what hurt me the most is that my eyes looked so empty and lost. That was my wake-up call. Not because I hated how I looked, but because I realized how far I had drifted from myself. I used to be confident, full of energy, playful, and just proud of the woman I was becoming. Somewhere along the way, I let stress, comparison, and emotional eating take over. And the worst part is I thought I had to punish myself in order to change it. I thought I had to run 5 miles a day, cut out all carbs, or track every single bite I ate. But I was tired. I didn't want another grind season. I just wanted peace. So I made a decision that completely changed my life. I was done chasing perfection. It was time that I was going to reconnect with myself and not restrict myself. That was the shift. The moment I stopped focusing on losing weight and started focusing on feeling good again. Because when you focus on how you want to feel, the physical results follow you naturally. I told myself, what if you just start showing up for yourself? No pressure, just true self-care. That is exactly what I did. It started small, focusing on things that seemed too simple to even really matter. But those small acts built momentum, and that momentum changed everything. Before I knew it, I was losing weight without even trying. Not because I was on a strict plan, but because I was finally living in alignment within myself. This wasn't about dieting, this was about healing. And the truth is, when you start healing, your body naturally lets go of things that no longer serve you. That includes the emotional weight, the physical heaviness, and yes, even the physical weight. That's why I say I didn't diet or go to the gym, but I still lost 25 pounds. Because my real transformation didn't start with a workout, it started with a decision to stop abandoning myself every single time I felt uncomfortable. I started asking myself new questions. What do I need today? How do I want to feel this week? What would it look like to actually care about me? And slowly the answers came. It wasn't about food or fitness. It was about peace, boundaries, and self-respect. So before I dive into the exact steps I took, I want you to understand something very important. You can't transform your body while hating yourself throughout the process. You have to love yourself enough to take your time. That's where the real journey began. Not with the diet, but with the shift in energy. I stopped fighting my body and started listening to it. And once I did that, everything changed. When I stopped focusing on dieting and actually focused on feeling good, that is when positive stuff started to happen. And the crazy part is none of this came from forcing myself to do hard things. It came from small habits that helped me reconnect with myself, mentally, emotionally, and physically. These are the exact habits that slowly but surely helped me lose 25 pounds. Without dieting, without the gym, and without hating the process. Number one is I started my mornings with stillness. Before, I would wake up and instantly grab my phone, scroll and compare, panic about my to-do list by 8 a.m. I was already stressed. And stress makes you hold on to weight. Your body literally can't release what it's constantly protecting itself from. So I made one change that seemed small, but it was actually really powerful. I stopped starting my mornings out with chaos. Instead, I started it with stillness. Some days I prayed, some days I journaled, and some days I just sat there quietly and took deep breaths until I felt calm. That morning peace started setting the tone for my entire day. When you start your mornings with presence instead of panic, you naturally make calmer decisions. You eat slower, you think clearer, you listen to your body more. And when I tell you that alone stopped me from emotional eating, I mean it. Step number 2, I focused on walking and movement that felt good. I did not have the energy to go to the gym at the time, and I stopped feeling bad about that. Instead, I started with walking. No crazy step goals, no strict cardio workouts, just walking outside in the neighborhood with my headphones on. It became my therapy. When I walked, I thought. I processed things that I did not think about for years. I realized that movement doesn't just change your body, it also clears your mind. And the more I walked, the more consistent I became because it was not about punishment. It was just about peace. Sometimes I dance in my room, stretch before bed, or clean my space while listening to music because that's movement too. Those daily walks built up over time. I started feeling lighter, not just physically, but mentally too. I wasn't counting calories or obsessing over my results, but my jeans did start fitting differently and my energy started to improve a lot. One day I realized my body was changing naturally because I was finally being kind to it. Third thing I did was I stopped labeling foods as good or bad. The second you label something as bad, you are giving it power. You start obsessing over it and you start craving it more. And if you eat it, you feel guilt, which leads you to that I already messed up mentality spiral. So instead I told myself there's no bad food, it's just balance. If I wanted something sweet, I had it, but I actually enjoyed it this time. I started being more aware with how food made me feel instead of how it made me look. When you stop restricting, your body naturally starts craving better things. I started drinking more water because I wanted to feel energized. I ate more fruit and lighter meals because I liked how clean I felt afterwards. It wasn't a diet, it was my intuition. Step number 4, I rebuilt my relationship with my reflection. I used to avoid mirrors. Every time I looked, I would just pick myself apart. My stomach, my thighs, my face, and that constant criticism made me feel like I was always behind. Until one day I just told myself enough's enough. Every morning I would stand in front of the mirror and say something kind to myself, even if I did not believe it yet. And yes, it did feel weird at first, but over time, it started to feel natural. And when I tell you my body started reflecting the energy I spoke over it, I mean that literally. When you speak love into yourself daily, you start moving like somebody who deserves better. I wasn't losing weight out of insecurity anymore. I was glowing from self-acceptance. Number 5, I slept like my life depended on it. When I was stressed, my sleep was trash. And poor sleep keeps your cortisol levels high, which then keeps your body stuck in survival mode. So I stopped glorifying hustle. I stopped staying up late, scrolling, or just overthinking. I made sleep a ritual. Dim lights, quiet music, phone on D&D. It became sacred time to recharge my energy. And within just weeks, my mood, my hunger, and my body started balancing out naturally. Sleep changed everything because your body can't release weight if it is constantly exhausted. Number 6, I started romanticizing my routine. I stopped waiting for motivation and started finding beauty in the small things. Making my water bottle aesthetic, lighting a candle before journaling, playing music while I stretched. When you romanticize the process, it stops feeling like work. It starts feeling like self-care, and that shift makes you consistent because now your lifestyle feels good. These habits didn't look like much at first, but over time they completely transformed me. I stopped feeling trapped in my own body and started feeling connected to it. When your body feels safe with you, that's when it starts to change. By the time I had my daily habits down, something amazing started to happen. I began realizing that the weight I was losing was not just physical, it was emotional and it was mental. Most of us carry invisible weight that no scale can measure. Stress, past trauma, self-doubt, fear of failure, all of that settles in your body if you never release it. And for me, that was a huge piece of the puzzle. I realized that I was trying to lose pounds while carrying emotional baggage like it was invisible. No amount of crunches or salads could fix that. I allowed myself to feel without judgment. I spent years avoiding my emotions. I thought showing sadness, vulnerability, or just frustration was a weakness. But the truth is, holding in emotions keep them stored within your body. So I started allowing myself to feel, cry when I needed to cry, felt frustrated instead of pushing it down, acknowledged my fears instead of ignoring them. It was uncomfortable at first, but I started noticing something. Every time I processed an emotion, I felt lighter, not just mentally, but physically. I had less tension in my body. My appetite became more intuitive. The emotional weight was releasing and the physical weight followed naturally. I set boundaries without any guilt. I stopped saying yes to everything and everyone. I realized that constantly giving my energy away was what was keeping me stuck. I was tired, overwhelmed, and overcommitted, and that stress is what kept my body in survival mode. So I started saying no, politely, firmly, but without guilt. I stopped overextending myself for people who drained me. When you feel in control, your body responds. I prioritized my time, my peace, and my energy and started to feel a lot more in control of my own life. And when you feel in control, your body responds. You naturally start making choices that support your health and your growth. I built self-discipline with ease. Before this journey, self-discipline sounded like a punishment. I imagined that I would force myself to run, force myself to eat foods that I didn't like, restrict myself too much. And honestly, that mindset just never worked for me. So I flipped the script. Instead of forcing discipline, I created habits that felt good. Discipline does not have to be painful. It becomes easy when your actions are rooted in self-love and self-care. I let go of comparison. I realized that comparison never motivates, it only demotivates. So I stopped looking outward and started looking inward. I stopped competing with others and started focusing on my own journey. My confidence started to elevate. I did not crave validation anymore. And my relationship with my body became one of respect and love, not shame. By letting go of emotional weight and building self-discipline from a place of love, the pounds started falling off naturally. I didn't have to track calories. I didn't have to punish myself in the gym. I did not have to force motivation. All I had to do was show up for myself every single day. Losing weight was one thing, but keeping it off is where most people struggle. And for me, it wasn't about willpower or restriction. It was about creating a lifestyle that felt effortless. I made health a non-negotiable, not a chore. I stopped thinking of my body like a project that I had to fix. Instead, I started seeing it like a friend that I had to care for. Caring for a friend isn't stressful, it's natural. I ate foods that made me feel energized. I moved daily in ways that made me happy. I rested when I needed to without anxiety. You don't have to fight yourself, you really just have to show up. I created a flexible routine. Rigid routines never worked for me. I hated being trapped by rules, so I included flexibility into my lifestyle. Some mornings I walked outside, some mornings I danced to music. Some nights I journaled, other nights I read or just meditated. I just let my body tell me what it needed. This flexibility kept me consistent without burnout. I wasn't obsessed, I wasn't exhausted, and my body stayed in balance naturally. I celebrated my small wins. This kept me motivated internally. I wasn't chasing instant results, I was appreciating my progress. And over time, the results added up. I prioritized joy over perfection. One of the biggest mental traps is thinking that I had to do everything perfectly. I realized that life happens. You miss the workout, you eat cake, you stay up too late, and that's okay. Instead of guilt, I chose joy. I enjoyed my meals. I danced when I felt like it. I laughed, I rested. When you prioritize joy, your body does not feel restricted or punished. It cooperates, it flows, and it maintains itself naturally. I kept my mindset first, always. Weight loss is not a physical challenge, it's a mindset challenge. If your mind is calm, confident, and consistent, then your body will follow. If your mind is anxious, guilty, or obsessive, then your body will resist. So I decided to keep checking in with my thoughts. I caught myself in self-doubt. I replaced my negative thoughts with positive ones. I learned that maintenance is about balance and not sacrifice. Losing weight felt amazing, but maintaining it is about balance, mind, body, and soul. I let myself enjoy foods I loved. I moved my body in ways that I enjoyed. I rested, celebrated, and stayed connected to my inner self. When I stopped obsessing, my weight stabilized. Stability comes from loving yourself enough to live your life, not survive it. Maintaining your weight and your mindset does not have to feel like a battle. It's not about extremes. It's not about restricting or obsession. It's about care, presence, and connection. I didn't diet. I didn't go to the gym. I didn't obsess or punish myself. I simply just shifted my mindset, built small habits, processed my emotions, practiced self-care, and practiced consistency. As a result, I lost 25 pounds. Not because of restriction, not because of willpower, but because I finally decided to care for myself in a way that felt natural. And that is the message I want you to leave with today. You can transform your body without hating yourself. You can thrive without extreme measures. You can show up for yourself and let your life and your body follow naturally. Thank you so much for watching. Please do not forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.